Welcome to Stories from the Center of the Universe, the podcast about the human experience.
All right, Chase Miffleton, welcome to the Center of the Universe.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Great to have you. I should mention that we connected through my wife, who knows your stepmom, and your stepmom was nice enough to reach out to you, and you were nice enough to join us tonight. That is Kevin. Man, look, sorry, Chase, I'm going to say this. His face is really skinny compared to mine, and we're basically the same age.
What's that tell you, Chase?
Oh, man. I don't know.
Says all kinds of things.
Welcome, Chase.
So, Chase, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Powhatan, Virginia. So,
oh, man. How many kids graduated in your graduating class?
300.
What?
We had, but it's
that's
just
pretty
one
big.
high school in the county, so just
Oh,
one.
so there were 300 kids across the entire county that
Yep.
basically turned 18 around the same time.
Yep.
That's still bigger than I thought.
Yeah, I know. And a lot of people don't think it's that big, but yes, it was 300, it was about 300, but just one high school, and we had junior high, but I think that's now that got taken down. So yeah.
Wow.
Wow. All right.
Did you grow up? Go ahead, Paul. I said, did you grow up around here? Is it always near Powhatan?
Yeah, mostly Powhatan, and then I would go to Mechanicsville because that's where my dad lives too. So I was kind of in between both. But I went to school and
Okay.
everything at Powhatan.
So you were bouncing
Gotcha.
between Western Richmond Metro and the Eastern Richmond Metro.
Exactly, got all of it.
All right. So when you were like 7, 8, 9 years old, how did you spend your free time?
Playing sports, a lot of baseball.
There you go.
Rec league and travel ball, so that was basically what I was doing most of those young years.
What position did you play primarily?
A lot of everything, some shortstop, pitcher, and a little bit of outfield too. So a little bit of everything.
And you must be a righty since you played short.
Yes.
All right. Were you better in the field, or you better pitching, or better hitting?
I liked the field. I liked second and short a lot. I liked the middle infield.
Okay. Nice.
There you go.
Kevin, did you play baseball?
I did, and I played short and pitcher, and it's not because I was right-handed. No, that's awesome, Chase. So what little league are we talking? Are we talking Powhatan Little League, or where did you play travel ball?
PYA, and then what was it? USSA travel ball for baseball.
Oh, okay.
I did that until I was probably, I'd say a sophomore in high school, and then I started getting into running a lot. That's what my family does. So I cross country and track in high school.
When you say your family does track,
man.
what does that mean?
Or road running. They were like, my grandma, she's huge into running. She's run 75 marathons or whatever it is. And
Wow.
they're all still.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Both my grandmothers are no longer with us, but I've never saw either one of them run 10 feet. So is that on your dad's side?
Yes, my dad's side. He's into running. His brother, his dad, his mom, everybody.
All right. So have you run a marathon?
No, I've done a half. But
Half's hard enough.
yeah,
Hey,
Well, how fast did you do that? How fast did you do the half?
I can't even remember. It was probably it wasn't even like an official road race. It was just I went and ran 13.1 miles on my own. I want to say it was under 2 hours, but I can't remember what the time was.
I've mentioned this before the podcast. I ran a half marathon one time, and it took me a day and a half.
Tell him what happened.
I'm not telling. Yeah, a minute after I finished, a guy died.
Oh man.
Yeah, and he's my age now, so I'm like, I'm not running another half marathon.
Exactly.
Seems crazy. Yeah, grandma running 75 marathons. My goodness.
Yeah, she's crazy. She was telling us the other day, she said, I can't do long distance anymore, but I can still do about 13. But I'm like, that's long enough.
How old's grandma?
Wow.
Can we reveal that?
I couldn't tell you.
She's probably 49.
I'll
Something
say,
like that.
yeah, I think her upper maybe 70.
Okay.
I think 70.
It's still doing halves. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So you ran cross country. What's a really good time in cross country?
I mean, I would say the really good's like 16s, but I was in the 17s, like low 17s.
That's still flying, man.
Yeah, I enjoyed
Well,
it.
it's
Now, how long
cross
is
country too, right?
How long is that though? Yeah, how long is the cross country like the I guess the
3.1
track?
miles.
I know it's not a track. How many?
3.1, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what, a 5K, but you're running across terrain.
Yeah, up hills and in the woods.
Oh goodness.
Did you ever
I think
win
I
a
hurt
meet?
myself.
Ooh. In track I did, not in. I don't think I ever won a meet in cross country.
Did you ever run the mile for competition?
Yes, I love them.
All right, what's your fastest mile?
It was like 4:46. I want to say.
The world record's like 350, something like that, 348.
Yeah, I couldn't touch that.
I mean, well, 446 is flying. I probably couldn't beat you in a car. All right, hey, so my friend Chase, we're being joined by my friend Rob. His daughter's name is Julia.
Gotcha. Okay.
Rob, Rob and I have not talked about this, but Rob, you're certainly welcome to ask a question or two. Since Chase works for the Steelers, spoiler alert though, Rob, he informed us before we hopped on this recording that he's not working for them as long as I had originally thought. But we'll get to that in a little while.
Understood. Well, Chase, I'm a big Steelers fan, and that's all I got to say. I appreciate it.
That's awesome.
All right, so Chase, when you were in high school, how would you classify yourself? Were you just like a normal good kid? Were you really good academically, more of a focused on running?
I was I would say well-rounded. I definitely enjoyed sports. That was probably what got me through high school and everything. I love sports, and like I said, I stopped playing baseball my sophomore year, but I still ran and I enjoyed that very much. But yeah.
So kind of an athletic kid, did well enough in school to go to a what I would consider a really good school. Normally, I would say something demeaning about the school you went to, but since my son goes to that same university, I won't say anything demeaning tonight.
I hear you. Yeah.
Wow. Nice of you, Paul.
And I have to be especially careful considering I think my alma mater is 1-15 in the last 16 football games against your team.
Just didn't even got that one, but it's all right.
Yeah, we should have lost that one too. I'm with you. Yeah, we're more focused on being cooler than we have any right to be, or something like that. All right. So when you were thinking about going to college, it's your senior year. Did you know exactly where you wanted to go?
No, I did not. I applied to 3 schools. It was VCU, JMU, and Virginia Tech. And I didn't tour, like you could say, I didn't tour any of them. So I went to one football game, Virginia Tech game. I want to say it was my junior year of high school. And that was the only thing I really knew about Virginia Tech.
Did you not visit because it was easy to check it out online, or was it just like that didn't matter to you as much as maybe the non-physical?
I don't know. I just kind of made the decision. I thought it would have been a cool school to go to. I didn't really want to stay in the city, I guess you could say, for VCU, and then so it came down to JMU and Virginia Tech, and once I got in there, I was going. So.
Anybody in your family go to Tech?
Chase.
No. Yeah, what's up?
Chase, tell us about that experience at the Tech football game, though, because I have yet to experience it, but I know a bunch of folks that went to Tech, and I know that Inner Sandman and all the theatrics that go on there. And I don't know if you went to a day game or a night game, but did that have any bearing? I mean, did you go there and see that game and see everything that went on and went, wow, this is a cool place?
Yeah, that it was. I mean, I went during a day game and we lost, but I mean, just the tailgating before all the fans are out there having a good time, and then jumping before the game. I mean, the entrance and everything, it's insane. And that definitely played a part in it. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sandman's been their song for quite some time, and I've been to a couple games in Blacksburg, and even though I wasn't rooting for Tech either game, it got my juices flowing too.
Yeah. Oh, it does.
Cool. So you went to Tech, and what did you think you were going to do when you went to Tech? Did you have a specific major in mind?
Yeah, I went in as a biology major, and I wanted to be a pediatrician actually, and I'm the farthest thing from it. I changed my major after the first semester, I want to say, and I didn't change it much. I went to human nutrition and exercise, so a little bit more along the exercising and stuff like that. Still not in that field, but I enjoyed the classes that I took.
So I wanted to be a pediatrician when I entered college, and by the beginning of my sophomore year, I was taking organic chemistry, and I realized that I was not going to do well in that class. So I said, hey, I'm going to do something entirely different.
Yeah.
Did you run into a class like that, or was it just you kind of realized that was not your path?
Chemistry, that was a big one for me. It was just I don't even know what it was. It was just I don't know, the numbers with it, but it just didn't. That was a hard class.
Not everything computes for everybody, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. So you ended up majoring in, say the major again?
Nutrition, foods, and exercise.
Okay.
So still it was pretty much all science classes still, but I definitely enjoyed it.
And what were you going to do with that major?
I thought about being a physical therapist along those lines, or sports medicine. But once I got into it was probably my sophomore year, I had already wanted to stick with equipment because I was doing that.
All right, so let's talk about how equipment management started.
Yeah.
Did you do that at all in high school?
No. So my uncle did it when he was in college at Middle Tennessee State. And that's just kind of how I thought about the idea. And then once I got accepted to Virginia Tech, that's what I wanted to try it out. So I submitted an application, and my uncle, he actually coached with Larry Fedora at Middle Tennessee, or not coached, worked for him, and he got him to reach out to Coach Foster at Tech. So that's kind of how that came about.
Wow.
All right, so you had a bit of a connection to arguably one of the best defensive coaches in all of college football.
Yes.
That's a pretty nice connection.
It is. It was. It helped a lot too.
Was Frank Beamer still a coach when you were a freshman, or had he already retired?
He had retired, and I was with Coach Fuente for his first year.
And who's the coach there now? It's still Fuente, right?
Yeah, it's still him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Coach Foster retired, right?
Yeah. I was with him his last year.
All right, so you get into equipment management. You have a decent idea because a family member had done it. Was it what you expected it to be?
I mean, my uncle had told me about what it would be like, but I honestly had no clue going in. So that's what it was when I got there. And I mean, I really enjoyed it.
All right, so let's do this.
What does it entail?
Kevin, by the way,
Go ahead, Paul.
Let's do this. I'm gonna do that when I'm ready to stop talking, and you get ready to ask a question if that's cool. But let me hit him with this. So, give us a typical day. Any of the 4 years you were there, what it was like on a practice day, and then what it was like on a home game in a home game for Tech.
Yeah. So obviously it would vary between seasons if it's spring ball or in season, but a normal day, it would have been players, me, whatever. You would wake up, go to class, and then after your classes are done for the day, you go over to the facility, and it'd probably be around 2 or 3, and then we'd have practice. So we'd get there probably an hour before practice, and then set up the field with, each manager is with the position. So I was with the quarterbacks my whole time there. So I would set up, get all the equipment I need. I talk to the offensive coordinator before, or the quarterback coach as well, before practice, see what he needs for practice, and then set up some stuff in our designated area on the field. And practice might start at 4, but players are out there at 245-3 throwing and whatnot. So warm up the quarterback, stuff like that during practice, and then help the coach during drills.
Nice. And so you're warming up the quarterbacks, meaning you're catching their passes.
Yeah, catching it for them, and then yeah.
That's pretty cool, man.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. Definitely enjoyed that.
So what did you have to do after practice? Anything?
So after practice, yeah, we break down the field, put all the equipment that we took out away, and then where we had about 10 managers, I'd say, we had split laundry shifts, so we had to do laundry after practice. And of course, guys like to hang out in the locker room after, so we're waiting on them for them to change and whatever. Oh, it takes a while, but we only had like maybe 2 laundry shifts a week, maybe more, but that would take a while. It probably takes 3-4 hours after practice just to get laundry going. So it'd be some late nights if we had laundry that night.
So Chase, what was your relationship like with the players? And you said you were with the quarterbacks. Was it more of a, hey, we're peers, we're both college students, we're classmates, or was it more of what was the relationship like?
This is not meant to be a trick question either, Chase.
Oh no, yeah. So we had I would say a good relationship. We'd talk before. I mean, it's more of a, if you see them out and about, you'll talk for a little bit. You're not necessarily their best friend or whatever, but you'll see them, and I mean, it's a pretty cool relationship you get to build with them.
That's cool. So it was a 2-part question, and the 2 questions had nothing to do with each other. The second question is,
Kevin likes 2-part questions, by the way.
I do. Have you ever been asked to deflate a football? I'm just kidding.
No, let him answer it. Let him answer
it. Oh man.
All right, so
don't answer that. Okay, do you remember No, it was Tom Brady and the Patriots. Yeah.
Yeah, against the Colts, I believe.
No. Don't implicate yourself, so you don't have to answer that question.
Yeah.
I'm sure nothing like that ever happened with a Virginia Tech team.
Definitely not during the game.
All right, so Chase, you got some scholarship money, right? While you were at Tech, was it a full ride or was it a nice partial, and it was cool that you got anything kind of thing?
Yeah. So going in, they tell you it's going to be $1,000, and it builds on top of that each semester. So my first semester was $1,000, and then the next was $2,000, and so forth. So by the time and then one senior every year gets a full ride. So when I got to the end of my junior year, they told me I was going to be getting a full ride the last year.
That's awesome. And I bet your parents were very happy about that.
Yes. Yeah.
Did they draw a name out of a hat kind of thing, or was it based on your merit?
Performance. Yeah, it's based on performance.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It definitely helps a lot.
All right, so Chase, tell us your most memorable football game on a sideline, home or away. Take us through that day.
I would say the most memorable I would have was my second game of my freshman year. We were playing at the Battle of Bristol. I don't know if y'all remember, but we played Tennessee in Bristol's NASCAR stadium. And,
yeah.
I mean, looking back now, I had no clue. I mean, every game was big to me, my second game. But looking back, I mean, we had college game day, so we had college game day passes. We went and talked to the hosts, like Sam Ponder, and all those people. I mean, we talked Kirk Herbstreit. We talked to all of them. So that was probably the coolest moment I've had. And then leading up to the game, I mean, the game was insane. We ended up losing at the end, but I mean, that was probably the best experience I've had.
How big's that stadium? Like, it holds a bunch of people, right? Or is it smaller?
I think it still holds the record for how many people. I think it was over 100,000.
That's crazy.
It was nuts.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do this because I think Kevin and Rob will find this entertaining. What's your favorite UVA game? Tech versus UVA.
It was definitely my freshman year as well, when it was a blowout. It was like 52-10, maybe something like that. I mean, that was probably the best one. Or the comeback where we shouldn't have won at all in Lane Stadium.
Yeah, I was at that game, dude. It was awful. It's the worst day of my life.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, y'all had no business winning that game.
No, we did not.
There was about a 10-minute period after that game was over. I'm like, we may never beat Tech again.
Yeah, that's what I thought until the next year.
Oh man, I think there were like 2 or 3 games in Blacksburg where I was shocked Tech came back and won, but y'all did.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. So we're gonna keep this all positive. Who was your favorite coach? And you can take the head coach out. Any of the other coaches besides the head coach.
Coach Cornelson. He was the quarterback coach and the offensive coordinator. We probably got. I was closest to him because I worked with him every day for 4 years. He was definitely, a guy in my corner, and he was awesome.
Just a good dude, uplifting, positive, wanted everybody to do well.
Exactly.
Yeah, the world needs more people like that. All right, how about your favorite player?
Favorite player?
How many quarterbacks are we talking about that you interacted with?
Oh, I could list off a bunch. We had
so nobody's gonna be mad when they listen to this that you didn't pick them.
Yeah. No, I'd say probably Hendon Hooker. He was the last quarterback that I worked with, but we became pretty close. He was a cool guy, and we played intramurals together, basketball, and he came to our intramural like football games and stuff. But he was definitely a cool guy.
He was a transfer, right?
Yeah, he did. Well, no, we recruited him. He just transferred to Tennessee.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. That's right.
So he's at Tennessee now?
He's at Tennessee now, yeah.
Yeah, wow. Kevin?
So how do you go from Virginia Tech to the Steelers?
Hold on.
You know? Oh, sorry.
Hold on, let's back up. He spent a couple summers with I want to get this right, the Washington football team. But when you started there, they were not the Washington football team, right?
Correct.
Yeah. All right, so how'd you get that gig?
So my boss knew the head guy with Washington, and there are NFL teams are usually looking for camp interns to help out during training camp because they have 30 more players than they usually would have during the season, and just they need help with stuff. And then I had a coworker, another student manager, work with them the year before I started. So that kind of just led me in. I went and actually met them when he was at camp, and that kind of led to me being able to do it the next 2 years.
And so how long are camps? Because they were both in Richmond, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they were in Richmond. I'm from Richmond, so it was actually very convenient. It was from, I want to say, like the middle of July to it was like July 20th, I would say, to August 20th, like when I would start school up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And so I'll ask you the same question because I'm enjoying this question. Favorite Washington football team player, favorite coach?
Ooh.
You can stay away from that. Who was the head coach? Those two.
Gruden.
Gruden. Okay.
Favorite coach. I can't even think of his name, and I feel like I have this battle. It's not Kavanaugh. He was the offensive coordinator. It was the quarterback coach that I had. We actually grew really close, and he's the offensive coordinator in LA right now with the Rams. I can't think of his name on the top of my head, but he was awesome. And then favorite player would either be Case Keenum or Colt McCoy, because I also worked with the quarterbacks there, and they were super fun to be around. Case Keenum and Colt. We did these games after practice, and like to hit the crossbar or whatever, and they put money on it or whatever it would be, but it'd be cool.
How far out?
Probably 30 yards. Nothing too crazy.
Well, they're pro quarterbacks. They ought to be able to do that every time.
Kevin O'Connell, that's the name of the coach.
Kevin O'Connell. All right. Well, he's out there.
Yeah,
he's out with the Rams, where I'm pretty sure McVay's calling most of their plays.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. Colt McCoy, I've always had this impression that he's a really nice guy.
Yes. Super nice.
Yeah. All right, Kevin, you got one loaded up? You want to go to the Steelers?
And I don't have one loaded. Yeah, let's move to the Steelers. I like it. Talk about the Steelers. So how did you? Well, so you're doing, and it sounds like you're doing an intern in the summer with the Washington football team, and then you're going back to Tech, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Correct. How did you end up going from it? Did you go to the Steelers after you graduated from Tech, or was it a summer thing as well?
Yeah. So after I did the training camp with Washington, and then I went back for my senior year at Tech, and then so that whole, it was like once quarantine hit, I was planning on going back and being a graduate assistant at Virginia Tech and getting my master's or work on a master's while I still work for the football team. And then ended up getting a call from the Steelers. They apparently reached out to Washington to see if they had any guys in mind that would want to intern for the full year. So that's how I kind of got up there to the Steelers. And then I could have done a full year as well with Washington, but things worked out. I was going to get some more opportunity somewhere else too, and that's how I ended up there.
Well,
Now, who are you a fan of? Are you a fan of the Washington football team or the Steelers, or who's your team?
All high school, like growing up, I was a huge Washington fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
It was definitely very cool for me to work those camps.
I bet.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Did you have a choice between the Washington football team and the Steelers, or
Yeah.
you had already committed to the Steelers by the time the Washington opportunity
No,
arrived?
so I was on the fence between being a GA at Virginia Tech and going to Washington. But the way it worked out, the Washington head guy kind of looked out for me, and I was able to make a little bit more money up in Pittsburgh and make it a little bit more worthwhile. So that's why I kind of ended up coming up here.
All right, cool. Before we start talking about the team, you've lived in Pittsburgh for a bit now. What are your impressions of Pittsburgh?
Oh, I love it. It's different. I grew up living in Powhatan, which is very rural, and then going to Blacksburg in the mountains. So living in the city is different, but I also like being able to walk down the street and go to any different restaurant I want to or whatever. So it's pretty cool.
Which river are you closest to out of the three rivers? Do you know?
I don't know how to say it. It starts with an M.
Monongahela.
Was it Monongahela? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Ohio, Monongahela, and what's the third one? Rob knows. Rob, tell us what the third one is, man.
Why you put me on the spot?
What is the third one? That's a good question.
I'll think of it. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Do you live near the stadium?
I live near the training facility in Southside, so I've been walking to work every now and then. I live a mile away from the training facility.
And how far is the training facility from the actual stadium?
10-minute drive, maybe. It's
okay.
The stadium's downtown, but it's not far at all to get there.
And you're 22, so you're old enough to go. Pittsburgh has a casino or two, right?
Yeah, they do. I haven't been, but they do have a casino right next to the stadium.
Here's my advice for you: stay away, Chase.
Yeah.
Stay away.
10-1 and did not.
Yeah.
Very cool. So,
speaking from experience.
Yes, absolutely from experience. So, the Rooney family has always struck me as very thoughtful, very, very caring. They believe in loyalty to their players and their staff. It's a testament that, like, Chuck Noll to what was the guy in between Noll and Tomlin?
Bill Cowher.
And now Mike Tomlin. That's covers 50 years.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Nuts.
That's crazy. Almost 50 years, I think. And obviously they have a ton of Super Bowls. Like, they do things right. Do you get a chance to interact with the ownership?
So, yeah, I run into Mr. Rooney. He's always walking. He's definitely very interactive. He's always walking through the locker room or wherever it may be, through the hallways. He's usually working out. So his office and all the coaches are upstairs from the equipment room. The equipment room's attached to the locker room, but he's always walking through the locker room and through the hallways downstairs. And it's usually a quick conversation. He's super busy, I know now, with the draft and free agency and everything right now, but he's definitely very personable.
Yeah, I've always had that impression about him. How old is he now, roughly?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I could Google it, I guess. But he's still working out, which is great because he's not 49.
Yes, exactly.
All right, cool. All right, so from the outside looking in, Villanueva seems like the most amazing dude ever. You get
Yeah.
a chance. You get a chance to interact with him.
A little bit, but he's definitely very funny. He's a funny guy. Him and I guess him and the offensive line have been together for a while, and it's kind of, I mean, Villanueva isn't with us right now. I don't know if he'll be back or not, but Pouncey, he was another one. He just retired, and then Dave DeCastro. They're all three of them are super funny. They're always joking around. I mean, throwing the ball or whatever. But yes, Villanueva, Big Al is what everybody calls him, but he's an awesome dude.
I will not refer to him as Big Al. I'll refer to him as a giant man. He's really big, right? He's like 6'9".
Yes.
Yeah, and he played tight end at West Point.
Wow,
and
I didn't know that.
and he deployed to Afghanistan 3 times with the Ranger Regiment.
Yep.
I mean he's a. I mean, look, people throw this word around occasionally, but it absolutely applies to him. He's a hero and a national treasure from my perspective. And it's good to know that he's funny. I didn't realize he was funny. Now, when you say funny, is it more physical humor or is it more banter? How are they, or is it more locker room humor?
It's more locker room humor, but we'll go to the practice field and him and Pouncey are grabbing a football and running routes. Like one's a quarterback and one's a wide receiver. They're just like kids out there on the football field.
Yeah, it's like they're kids and they're getting paid a lot of money to be kids.
Exactly. Yes.
They're also putting their bodies through amazing pain and injury from time to time. All right, so when I first talked to you, Chase, I guess it's been a couple months. We had brought up Mr. Rooney. We talked about the players, and I said, "Are the players and coaches pretty cool to you?" And you're like, "Yeah, I was just talking to Coach Tomlin a couple of minutes ago." I'm like, "Oh wow."
Yeah.
I have a buddy who'd be really jealous of that, and he's in his 50s. He's not 22. Tomlin gives me the impression, at least publicly, and everything I've heard and read about him, he's just a really solid, good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he's got a job for the rest of his life, right? Rob's coming off mute. What do you got, Rob?
I'm just saying, are you talking about me, the friend in the 50s? Because I'm really jealous right now.
I was absolutely talking about you. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he actually just signed a contract extension too, which is awesome.
Yeah.
How long do you know the terms?
Another 3 years, which
okay.
I don't know when he's signed through now, but yeah.
He'll sign like 7 or 8 more of those.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's really cool. I've never disliked the Steelers. There's just something about the franchise that is appealing to, I think, most fans. It's hard to be jealous. And Kevin, you were telling me, tell a story about going to the Pittsburgh Stadium.
Well, I was going to ask you that actually, Chase, about the fans, because we often talk about how rowdy fans can get in certain stadiums or certain cities, and Philly's got the reputation. Anybody in the NFC East has got a reputation, including the Washington football team. But I've been up to Three Rivers when Pittsburgh played in Three Rivers a couple times, and the fans. And I mentioned this to Paul. The fans are rowdy. Don't get me wrong. But they're so into the Steelers, they're not really worried, at least my experience, they weren't worried about the opponent's fans that were there. They were nice to us, but they were just, they were chanting the Steelers are going to the Super Bowl every 10 minutes. I think they might have lost that game. But they're just great. So how are the fans up there? I imagine it's just a rabid bunch of fans in Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you, in Pittsburgh itself, going out to restaurants, everybody's wearing either a Pirates, Penguins, or Steelers apparel. It doesn't matter what it is. They are dedicated to the teams here, and it's very cool. I went to a Pirates game the other day, and even them, it stinks that I wasn't able to experience a full stadium this year because that would have been cool.
I'm not tracking baseball right now, but are the Pirates? I'm looking at Kevin more than anybody. Are the Pirates any good this year, Kevin?
Well, Chase can probably answer that. They're not that good. They're probably lower third, but I think they were playing a little bit better this year than people thought. But did you see I'm a Padres fan, Chase, since I was a kid.
Yeah.
You didn't happen to go to a Padres game, did you?
I did. I went to one of the Padres games where I'm so
Awesome.
surprised they won. I mean, definitely going into the season, I mean, you heard the Pirates are going to be terrible, but they actually were winning some games. But so they won. I think they might have split the series with the Padres, but I went to a game where they beat the Padres.
Yeah, the scrappy bunch for sure.
Yeah.
I think they have to be, right? Because their payroll is probably one of the lowest in the league. Yeah, I can see a lot of Steelers jerseys. I can see a lot of Penguins jerseys. I can't see a lot of Pirates jerseys. Maybe like 30 years ago. Something like that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so Chase, big question. Are you going to be an equipment guy for your career, you think?
So going into this, I wanted to be. I definitely thought I would be and wanted to be, but it's kind of you start to realize how much more moving around you're going to have to do to finally settle down. But so I don't think I will be, and I'll actually be stopping or ending my time with the Steelers next week. So
that's a bummer, man.
Now,
I was hoping you were going to be an equipment manager for the next 35 years, and I was just going to call you up every year or so.
Right?
Yeah.
That'd have been nice.
Yeah. So yeah, you've got to have some mixed feelings about that, right?
I do, but I'm also looking forward to having summers, free. I mean, I haven't been able to go to the beach in July or August in the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, stuff like that, and then actually go to Virginia Tech games as a fan, because I've only been to one, and that was in high school. So I'm definitely looking forward to going to some Virginia Tech games.
Yeah, a little more relaxing when you don't have to worry about doing stuff before,
yeah.
during, and after the game.
3-4 hours after the game. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Chase, if you're looking for a career, though, I know this certain firefighter named Jake that lives around here that might have might have
Jake's
a little.
Awesome. It's been a while since I talked to Jake, actually, but that's funny that we have that connection.
Yeah. When I saw your last name, I was like, "There's no way." And then I talked to Jake, and he said, "Yeah, that's for sure." Yeah, he lived across the street from my parents for a couple of years, and he's a great guy. Great guy.
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
Well, it was a big mystery. I think I was telling you earlier, Chase. Kevin and I couldn't figure out if he was your brother, he was your uncle, but he's your dad's first cousin.
Yep.
That makes him your. I don't know how cousins work after the first cousin. Is second or third?
Second cousin.
Yeah.
Second cousin, I think.
No, I don't know. Kevin.
No, that'll be first cousin once removed.
Oh,
there you go.
Rob,
thank you, Rob.
That's our scribe correcting us. That was an in the moment fact check. I like it.
Yeah.
So Chase, you're going to be leaving there in a week, and it's got to be like I would love to hang out with Big Al. I feel weird calling him Big Al because he's not here with us, but or Coach Tomlin or the Rooney family, and now you're going to come back home essentially, right?
Yeah.
What are you going to be doing?
I'm going to be working construction with the company my dad works for as well, paving construction. So yeah.
And paving is like we're not talking about like interstates. We're talking about like
interstates.
Oh, really?
Yeah. More.
Oh, wow.
Projects.
Make a couple bucks doing that, I'm guessing. Is it a family business for y'all?
No, but he started there a while ago, and it's more of a family business, as in not our family, but the guys that are running it.
And your dad's been there a long time and is well respected, and they're loyal to him and all that. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, cool. Is it going to be like a you're going to be sweating all the time kind of gig, or are you going to be?
I think it's going to be more, or it's going to be half and half, inside and out. So right now I got to get in there and learn some first. So.
All right, right on. Cool. I'm sure are you seeing a significant other at the moment, Chase?
Yes, I am. I am engaged.
Oh my gosh, Chase, you are 22 years old. I couldn't even spell engaged when I was your age.
Must be a special one.
Yes, she is for sure.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit about her. How'd y'all meet?
So we met at Virginia Tech. It was my sophomore year and her freshman year. So she's a year younger than me.
Are you gotta give us a little bit more than that, Chase?
She actually grew up on the same road that 2 other equipment managers that I worked with lived on. So she's from their hometown, and I kind of connected to her through them, a couple of my good friends. So, and we've been dating ever since.
Yeah, and you got engaged basically right after school, right?
Yeah, last July in Virginia Tech Stadium.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Were you at the 50-yard line?
No, we were actually right outside the tunnel.
That's just as cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And have you set a date yet?
Yes, next May 21st.
And
2022.
Oh, wow.
And where's she from? I think you just said it, but
She's from the Eastern Shore of Virginia.
okay. So y'all gonna get married there?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And obviously you've met her parents and everything's cool there.
Yep.
All right. Right on.
I don't think Chase would admit it if it wasn't.
Yeah.
Not on the podcast.
That was not meant to be a setup.
Meh.
Yeah.
Right, her mother drives me nuts. Yeah, that's not happening.
I've been married a long time and I wouldn't even say that. Yeah.
Right.
It's good times.
I love it.
Is it going to be a big wedding?
Yes, because where she's from, her family and friends are all super close. So it's going to be a lot of her family and friends. And then where I have my mom's half of the family and my dad's and step parents, and it'll probably be a little big.
That's cool. Sounds like it's going to be a good time.
It should be. Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry. Did you say your fiance's name?
Stephanie.
Stephanie. We
Yep.
want to get that on the record.
Yes.
All right. We're going to ask Rob to come off mute. Rob, you have an opportunity now to ask a guy who works for your favorite NFL organization a question or two.
Cool. Thanks. Yeah, no, I was going to ask what you've already touched on, Paul, was just about, I mean, I've always believed that too. And probably why I'm a big fan is just the Steelers just seem like a total class organization. And I think you definitely said that, Chase. What do you actually do there? Are you with the QBs there as well? Like, do you interact with Ben and the other guys, or?
So where I've been here for a full year, I'd say I was more connected to these players than Virginia Tech or with Washington, where Washington, I was only there for a couple weeks during training camp. And then Virginia Tech, I would work with them every day, but it would only be a couple hours a day. But here it's their profession and my profession. So I'm with them all the time. And I was very connected with them.
That's great. That's really cool. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about, I mean, I've been there several times myself. Just, do you hear a lot about the history of the organization? I know it's one of the original 6, I believe, founded in 1933. I mean, they talk a lot about that and all the great teams they've had and everything.
Yeah, you can walk through the facility, and I mean, if you go upstairs, I mean, it's a very cool display of the history. I mean, you have different hallways that have different things, and all 5 or 6, I think, Super Bowl trophies are on display with the past teams in the background. And I think there's a wall or a hallway full of every single team, picture of them, and goes in a row. And it's pretty cool to look at the legends and stuff like that, the people that made them the Steelers.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. You just saying that makes me proud.
Yeah, it's definitely cool. And I mean, I wasn't even a Steelers fan, honestly. I didn't know anything too much about them coming up here, but I've definitely been able to learn, and it's pretty cool, the history that's here.
Yeah. Well, you can still you can be a Skins fan, and they can be your NFC team, and now the Steelers can be your AFC team.
That's the plan.
I like it.
Yeah, I think if you had to pick of all 32 teams, Pittsburgh's in your top 3, no matter how you slice it.
It was bittersweet when Washington came up here and beat ended the 11-0 streak up here.
Oh yeah,
Yes, they did.
And then I'm not trying to rub this in, but the last 5 games of the season were rough for the Steelers, right?
It was miserable.
You can be quiet, Paul.
Sorry. Well, so going 11-0, everybody's on cloud 9, right? And then you lose 4 out of the last 5?
Yeah, it was 4 out of the last 5, and then the blowouts of the Browns in the playoffs. It wasn't pretty.
That's how UVA likes to lose or end seasons.
The last game of the year.
Oh, it's brutal. So Well, talk to us about that. So, football players are humans too, and the coaching staff is as well. Like they were probably feeling like the 11 out of 10 sort of thing the first 3 months of the season, and then what was the mood like during that 1-4 and then the playoff loss to the Browns?
The moods definitely started going down, and I mean, people could see, I guess, what our problems were, and people, I mean, it was frustrating at practice, and it was hard. I mean, but at the same time, I don't know, it was bad. It was bad.
Yeah. No need to get into too much detail there. Anything else you want to tell us about your family, Chase? Besides your fiance, Stephanie?
No, I don't think so.
So, do you have any siblings?
I do. I have a sister and 3 brothers, and they're all younger.
Are they a lot younger?
Yeah. So my oldest sister, she just turned 14, I believe, and then my youngest is my brother, who is 5, I believe.
So you kind of feel like maybe as much an uncle as you do a brother.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, Landon, he's a lot younger than me, but he's funny.
Most 5-year-olds are hilarious to me, actually.
Oh, yeah. And I have I can't remember how old Parker is. I think he's 11 or 12. And then I have a brother, Samuel, who's 9. It's hard to keep track of all their ages.
Well, especially when you're the uncle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so Chase, I'm going to ask you the question you're probably going to hear a bunch as you go through life. You're 22 now. What are you doing when you're 35, 40 kind of thing?
I don't know. Hopefully settled down and going to the beach on weekends. I mean, that's a big part of Stephanie's life, is going and laying on the beach every weekend, because she lives on it practically. So, I mean, hopefully going to the beach on weekends in the summer. And I mean, if I'm 35, hopefully I have some kids too. So going to if they're playing sports or whatever. So.
Yeah, kids are cool. Between Rob, Kevin, and me, we have 9.
Wow.
It's a baseball team right there, right?
Yeah, right? Yeah, you can start one up.
That is.
The age range is 4 to 19 out of those 9.
Okay.
Yeah. It's good times. Cool. All right, Rob, we're winding down. Any last question for a guy who is with the Steelers?
No, I mean, I appreciate him talking about the things he did, and just Chase, I mean, this was really, really cool for me when, and of course I brainwashed all my kids. I mean, we're our whole family Steelers fans, and
that's awesome.
My father-in-law's from up in Pittsburgh, or not from Pennsylvania, but so I think it's cool, and it sounds like an incredible experience that you had, and I think it'll, I'm sure it's taught you a bunch of things that you'll be able to use, like Paul said, no matter what you're doing in 13 or 15 years. So that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, hey, let's. I don't want to end on this, but towards the end, I'll share that I'm a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. Chase, this video will not show up on the actual episode being released, but I believe the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the current champs.
I think so.
I think that's accurate.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Chase, just hold up.
Thanks for reminding us.
And one on the other.
So Rob, is it 5 fingers and then the thumb, or is it like the index finger? How do you do it?
Yeah, just like that, Gilly. 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
We just don't need New England to win anymore.
Nobody needs that.
No, definitely
nobody needs that. Nobody. All right, Chase, awesome talking to you, man. I wish you nothing but the best. And I'll tell you, I'm a little thrown off. I think I stay with the Steelers through the end of the original deal, through January. It's another season, but you were like, hey, I want the sure thing.
Yeah, and unknowing of not knowing what was going to be after the season, so I was ready. I had an opportunity come up, so
yeah,
I'll take it.
Yeah, you get you can take different paths throughout life, and this is one of those times you get to choose, and no regrets after you make the choice, man.
Yep.
Very cool. All right, well, tell your stepmom, I said hi because she's the
will.
reason that we connected, and it sounds like you're going to be staying with them for a little bit as
Yeah.
you guys transition to a permanently. Last thing, do you know what part of town you're going to live in?
I don't. I know I'm going to be working in Powhatan, but I do like the Hanover, Mechanicsville area, but I wouldn't be opposed to being in Powhatan as well. So I don't know. We'll see. It's a little bit of a hike to get out there, but.
Well, working in Powhatan, living in Hanover County, yeah, that's a hike. All three of us happen to live in Hanover County right now.
Yeah. So I definitely like Hanover. My uncle just built a house out there, and I like the area he's in too. So
out of all the Virginia counties, I would say Hanover's probably the best.
Okay.
I would agree. and future kid thing,
I like it.
it's a great school system. So
it's probably the top of our list right now. So
awesome.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to wherever you listen to podcasts. We'd also really appreciate if you'd rate and review us. You can find us at scodupodcast.com.